How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Unapologetically black. What I really want to talk about is the fact that black people is focused on entertainment on our social media pages and things of that nature. But America's in the process of losing democracy. We really need to get our priorities straight as a people. We're celebrating hip-hop 50th anniversary. We focus on entertainment, football games, sports. But America is losing democracy right now. Donald Trump is talking about being a dictator.
Tonight on the Mehdi Hasan Show, alarming new details on Trump's authoritarian plans from the man himself, as the Biden campaign compares his recent comments to Adolf Hitler's. Also, my conversation with Masha Gessen, the descendant of Holocaust survivors who almost had a literary award taken back after they condemned the atrocities in Gaza. And stripped of power, the chairman of the Florida Republican Party has been suspended after being accused of raping a woman. Why hasn't he been forced to resign?
I just don't understand how Donald Trump is still having support while he is saying publicly that he is about being a dictator.
And during that time, he didn't exactly hide his authoritarian agenda. As head of a coalition government back in the 1920s, he even said, quote, "I must take upon myself the task of governing the Italian nation for 10 to 15 years longer. It is necessary. My successor is not yet born." And at the time, many may have thought the Italian leader was, I don't know, joking. The joke was on them, because that's exactly what he did. The joke was also on the Brits and the Americans, who for years lampooned Mussolini in comic books and cartoons as a clown and a buffoon. That was their approach to the Italian fascist dictator in the making. He's joking, or he is a joke. Well, how did that work out for Italy and Europe during World War II? And so I couldn't help but think of Il Duce when I heard this from Donald Trump earlier this month.
Under no circumstances, you're promising America tonight, you would never abuse power as retribution against anybody.
Except for day one.
Except for
He's going to prison. Except for day one.
meaning?
I want to close the border, and I want to drill.
That's
drill.
And I couldn't help but think of Mussolini again.
Listen, I don't care who you is, especially if you're a black person, everything that we went through in order to even gain the right to vote, in order to get the little participation in democracy that we do currently have, for you to toy with supporting someone who will play with democracy in any form of fashion, saying that they would be a dictator, is foolish. And I have no respect for anybody who's saying they're willing to support a president such as Trump, who is saying he is willing to be a dictator, who has dictator ambitions, and who has repeatedly shown that. But because you're so focused on entertainment, you're so focused on sports, you're not paying attention to the fact that America is losing your democracy, and you should hold yourself accountable for what the environment that you are leaving your children.
To say about that outburst from Trump.
It's entertainment. And, we've been around him long enough. It's entertaining.
I think it was a joke. I think that's probably just fairly kind of typical Trump rhetoric.
We all know Trump uses unique expressions when he explains things.
Sometimes a little baby will spout off all sorts of words and then take it either literally or seriously. And that's a bit of what we're seeing, I think, from President Trump in this campaign right now.
Yes, it's entertainment. It was a joke, just a unique expression. Childish words from a 77-year-old man.
We have to understand that Democracy is not innate to white people. They have played the game and lied about history so much that we are not familiar with the fact, like the video I did earlier, that black people actually created democracy. See, democracy is freedom. We always fought to have our voice heard in any political system that we was involved in as a people. And Europeans have repeatedly fought in order to deny us access to that democracy because it is not natural to them. So they amended and adjusted their democracy so that it applied in a way that made it favorable to them and not to us. This is why we're still dealing with gerrymandering and things of that nature, because they're still attempting to deny us access to democracy. And because their numbers are dwindling with them having a negative birth rate, these Europeans are now trying to get rid of democracy in order to put a dictator in place. Because when they control the voting system with their massive numbers, then the government was their strong man.
Childish words from a 77-year-old man. Even Trump critic Mitt Romney there saying not to take it seriously. And see, maybe this would be hilarious, entertaining, or even unserious, except Trump keeps saying it. Just within the last week, the ex-president has doubled down on his day one dictator promise, both during a private fundraising event at Mar-a-Lago and in public remarks at the New York Young Republican Club's gala.
I said I want to be a dictator for one day. You know why I wanted to be a dictator? Because I want a wall, right? I want a wall, and I want to drill.
But here's the thing. The whole point of being a dictator is that you don't ever just do it for a day. That's like asking the genie for just one wish, not three, and then using that one wish to get infinite wishes. But this authoritarian rhetoric from Trump shouldn't exactly surprise us. He spent years heaping praise on foreign dictators, from Russia's Vladimir Putin to China's Xi Jinping to North Korea's Kim Jong-un. In fact, here's Trump openly admiring the North Korean supreme leader back in 2018, expressing envy over Kim's cultish control over the country's repressed population.
Hey, he's the head of a country, and I mean, he is the strong head. Don't let anyone think anything different. He speaks and his people sit up at attention. I want my people to do the same.
And it sure doesn't help that Trump is surrounded by people like close advisors.
Now you gotta believe him when he say that. Do you want to be forced to sit up at attention and listen and obey somebody? Do you want to be in North Korea?
Laying out exactly what he plans to do. Here he is in New Hampshire yesterday, pulling back the curtain on his second-term authoritarian agenda.
We will restore law and order to our communities, and I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical, out-of-control, fake, crooked prosecutor in America for their illegal, racist, and reverse enforcement of the law. I am also going to indemnify all police officers. This is a big thing, and it's a brand new thing, and I think it's so important. I'm going to indemnify through the federal government all police officers and law enforcement officials throughout the United States from being destroyed by the radical left for taking against crime.
Yes, for once I agree with Donald Trump. This is a big thing. We should be paying attention. That's the point. During that same speech, the ex-president once again echoed the racist rhetoric of history's most infamous fascist dictator, Mussolini's pal, Adolf Hitler.
They're poisoning the blood of our country. That's what they've done. They poison mental institutions and prisons all over the world, not just in South America, not just the 3 or 4 countries that we think about, but all over the world. They're coming into our country.
The late Maya Angelou once said, quote, "When people show you who they are,
This electric nail clipper is not only suitable for adults, but also tailor-made for...
Yeah, when people show you who they are, believe them. Exactly. Exactly what that is. He's showing you they're preparing to be a dictator. They're preparing to unleash the police and create mass violence upon the black community. We're about to end up in the same predicament as the Palestinians when Donald Trump get in office.